Thank you for staying home. In today's tutorial, a special botanical lettering project. Welcome back, my friends. My name is Shayda, and today we're going to do a little hand lettering project that involves a lot of illustration. This little project we did on the channel, oh my gosh, maybe 2 years ago, and it's a botanical lettering. As you can see, it's a serif font, which means it has those little wingdings, for lack of a better word. And we just filled this serif hand lettering with flowers. I love to draw flowers. We know this. They are a great beginner subject. I designed this book cover, and it's basically just a bunch of tiny flowers all packed together. And that is, I think, always a recipe for success. And today we're going to use that formula to do some lettering. So grab a pad of paper. I'm using this little sketchbook from Strathmore. I'll link it in the description below. You'll want a pencil and eraser and some fine liners. And I am using Pigma Microns, and I'll use the 01 and the 005 nib size, and those are the smallest nibs. And we'll talk about that more in a second, but for now you need to print a message to letter. You want to start with a nice font because you have to fill it in so precisely. So print something out. You can use a program like Microsoft Word, or PicMonkey is what I used. It's an in-browser software. I have some tutorials on it. It's a great program. It is paid for, but it was a lifesaver for me before I learned Photoshop, and they have so many fonts, which makes it perfect for this. Not an ad, just love PicMonkey. And I am doing the message, stay home. I know it's very timely. This is my way of saying thank you to all of you who are out there working on the front lines, whether you're in healthcare or working at the grocery store. Chris and I are staying home for you. And of course, if you can stay home, please do, and you can do a little bit of art with me. So what we're going to do is flip this over, cover it with graphite. Just use a pencil because the pencil will erase once it is transferred onto your good paper. We'll flip that back over, tape it in place. You've got a layer of graphite on the back now, and then take a nice sharp pencil, like a mechanical pencil, and just go around those letters. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the nice thing about not using carbon transfer paper, is that the pencil is going to erase. So if you kind of mess it up or something, you can always sort it out. And now you've got your message, and all you need to do is fill it in with flowers. And so we're going to come over here to my notebook, and we're going to practice some flowers. Grab a pen like a Pigma Micron fine liner, and let's draw together. The sort of floral illustrations that we're going to use to fill in our letters are really simple. You don't need to get complicated, which makes this a nice beginner-friendly project, even though I know it looks quite detailed. Think about just doing some leaf designs that are very basic. Change it up by varying the shape and spacing and size of the leaves. You can do little round berries. You can do branches that have leaves and berries. I found those to be really great for filling in space. Just think about small changes you can make to that basic leaf design without getting super complicated. You can do some larger leaves with a bit of detail like veining, and we may do some very basic flowers as well. It's nice to practice in your notebook so that you kind of know what you're going to do when you actually do the lettering. For flowers, I'm doing this very simple 4-petal flower. It just has a grouping of dots for the stamen, 4 petals, and then some tiny leaves surrounding it. But play around a little bit and see what comes to mind. I am, as I said, using my fine liners. The 005 and the 01 are the smallest nib sizes. Actually, I think there is an 003 now, but these are your usual small Pigma Micron sizes. I know the difference between them doesn't look substantial there, but if I use the 08, you can really see the difference in the nib, and that, I think, shows just how precise you can be when using the Pigma Microns. Okay, now that we've done a little practice, let's come back over and we're going to start with the H. This is a nice straight, long part, so it's a perfect spot to begin the practice of filling in these letters. I'm starting with a flower. Flowers are great because they fill a lot of space, and you can see what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that this one flower with its leaves kind of fills in the entirety of that part of the H. So it goes from one side of the letter to the other, and that's great. We always want to think about hitting the sides. What you do in the middle doesn't matter so much, but you definitely want to think when you lay down a stem, okay, at least one side of these leaves are going to hit the perimeter of the letter. So you're always thinking about the sides, because it really is the edges of the letter that need to look straight and that need to look filled in. If you have a little extra space in the center, you're just not going to see it so much as you would if you have a little space on the side, because space on the side is going to make it look like it's not straight, like the edge isn't straight. And berries are your friend. Berries are great for filling in. If you do leaves and then the leaves don't quite make it to the edge, add a berry or two. That was definitely my trick, and I found that it worked well. And don't worry if things get a little bit messy or weird in some areas. You're working so small with that little fine liner, you're just not going to see a tiny mistake or a bit where there was like this weird shaped leaf or berry. I am using the 01 nib for almost all of this. I think I did use the 005 for some of the tiny lines. For the most part, I was comfortable with the 01 Pigmamicron nib. It's also a nice idea to, when you come around a corner, like I am doing here on the H, and you have a lot of space there, that's a great spot to put some flowers, because you have a large area where a flower will fit nicely. Filling in these letters does take time. It's a little tedious, but it's also a great way to practice your floral illustrations. And you do not have to do such a long message. Stay home is a lot of letters. I was going to do something much shorter, but then this message just seemed like a great way to say thank you to all of you that are staying home and all of you that are out there helping our communities in this scary time. Now I wanted to move from the H up here to the S because the word stay is a bit smaller and the letters have these tighter sections. I thought we could work on it together. So for those really tight, tiny areas, here's how I'm approaching it. Just doing some really thin vines, and then also some larger leaves can help to fill in an entire area of a letter. And when all else fails, you always have a berry. When nothing else will seem to fit, a berry is your friend. You heard it here first. So I'm going to continue on filling in all of these letters, trying to use different vines and shapes and leaves and flowers, but not getting too crazy. You can see I'm using the same floral design over and over again, and then just varying up the size and shapes of the leaves. I'm going to go along, fill in all the letters. It's going to take a minute, but that's really all I have left to do. Chris and I have been trying to keep busy during these social distancing days by continuing to make YouTube videos and to produce extra content to help you stay positive, to help you stay busy, to help you and your kids stay busy. If you are interested in a real-time painting session, we have 2 live streams now posted on YouTube. We're doing a live stream on Mondays, and so you can watch those at this point. They're posted on the channel. channel. I'm also putting out extra content on Patreon. We've put out a couple coloring pages that are free for everyone. So head over to Patreon if you'd like to nab a coloring page. And if you have some advice about how you are staying busy, or, just keeping, by busy, I mean just keeping in a good headspace, please comment below and let us know how you're spending this time. And if you've been out and, having to work, let us know, because I'm sure we would all like to say thank you. And if you have an experience that you'd like to share, please share it. One last tip is that when you're finishing up these letters, especially if you have a really straight sort of section like I do with the serif font for stay, just use a ruler to help you with that. And but that's pretty much it. I'm just going to continue filling in, putting my flowers and leaves. It can look really pretty to have a flower that's kind of half off of the letter, like I've done on the A. I kind of have half a flower, and that's a nice easy way to fill in as well and create a straight edge. All right, to complete this lettering project, I just kind of step back for a second, look for any areas that need a final berry or leaf, and add those in. But for the most part, this is complete. I really enjoyed doing a lettering project. It's been a minute since we've done anything like this on the channel. So let me know, was this something that you enjoyed or something that you would try? You don't have to do such a long message, of course. You could just do something like love or hello, and that would be a great place to start. Get rid of all those pencil marks, and that is that. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you and your family are safe. Stay home, and I will see you soon with a new tutorial.